Hello. This is going to be graphical user interface application development using Lazarus and Free Pascal Part 7. So let's get started. We'll start up Lazarus by clicking on the icon on my toolbar here. All right. And we finished doing the set path thing on the last video, and now we're going to concentrate on creating a user screen that allows us to add a new user today. We're not going to get to using the MD5 digest algorithm just yet. That will take a little bit too long. So we're going into the My Application unit. Before we do this, though, I think something that's been kind of annoying is you'll notice whenever I have this, when I drag my mouse pointer down across these boxes, these hint boxes keep popping up, and when I drag over into the name of the property, then this giant hint box pops up, and it's look at that, very distracting, covers up a lot of the object inspector window. So what I want to do is I want to shut that off. Now I'm going to shut it off, but if you're just learning Lazarus, then odds are you may want to leave these on for a while, but I find them kind of annoying, so I'm going to shut them off today. Now how you do that is you go to Tools and you go to Options, and we're looking at Environment. I think that's the first thing that's highlighted, as shown right in here, and we want to go to General. And you'll see here it says hints for component palette, right? We're going to turn that off. Now we're going to go down to Object Inspector right here. And you will see right here it says Show Hints. We're going to turn that off. Okay, then we will come down to the bottom of the window and we will click on Apply and then OK. So now when we're over here, we're not seeing any hints popping up, right? No hints. So now this is going to look a lot cleaner when I'm using this. We're not going to have all these annoying windows popping up. So that's one of the first things I wanted to take care of. All right, so today we're going to create a new I guess you'd call it, yeah, it's going to be a new menu entry for the my main application here, my unit, my application. That's what we're focused on here. And if I press F12, we get the window, and currently in Files we have Set Path and Exit. So today we're going to want to add something called Users. So we will double click this the menu editor icon, which is on our form here. We'll double click that. All right. And then we will focus on Files. And then we will focus on, I guess it would be Exit. And we're going to add a menu item. Now I think it's Set Path. I think if I click Set Path, no, it's Add a Menu Item right here. So if I click, I'm on Edit, and I click I'm on exit, and I'm going to click on the add menu item. Okay, now it put it below exit. I'm going to have to move it up. I'm going to have to move that up. So I'm going to come over here, and it says move the selected item up. Okay, now that's where I want it. And we have to call it something. So let's see. I'm going to put my cheaters on. There we go. Now I can actually see. All right, so this is going to be called, that's a caption, right? So it says menu item right now. We want to change that. And I want to change that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to change that to say users. Okay. And when I hit enter, it magically changed to users over here. Now, users is going to be actually an item that has a sub menu. So I want to add a sub menu to users. So I'm going to say add submenu. And now I have this new item, and we're going to have this say add. So it's users, add a user, you see? So let's well, first of all, let's go back over here to users. And let's rename this, because right now the name is menu item 1. I don't care for that. So I'm going to call that menu users. So now we know what that is. And then we'll come over to our new submenu, and this item will be called, the caption will be add, right? Now if you add a user, you're probably going to want to change a user. Let's call this menu going to be users add. Okay. And then now we're going to add another menu item, and this caption is going to be, it's going to be change. All right. And we'll come down here and say, and this is going to be users, oops, change. Okay. And we're going to add one more item. If you can add and change, you must be able to delete. So we're going to add another menu item by clicking on this box. We're going to give that item, we're going to call that delete. And then we're going to come down here to the actual name of the object right here. And we're going to call that menu users delete. Okay, I think we're done editing this. That's fine. So we can close the menu editor by clicking on this, on the X in the upper right corner. All right. And now if we look in files, we have users, and then we have an add, change, and delete function. All right. So when we're adding a user, we're going to need a window to do that. So we're going to add a new form to our application. And we can do that. We can do that several ways. We can add a new form by clicking this icon, or we can go to File and say New Form. Either way will work fine. So this time let's use the icon on the toolbar. We'll click that. Excuse me. And we get a new form. So this form will be, and we're going to try to stick with a consistent presentation on these title bars in these forms. So I think, let's go back, let's look at unit log on. What did we do there? We didn't do it there. I think we did it on set path though, didn't we? If I look at that form, yes. I put my application dash set path. So that's what we're going to want to do on all of our forms. So I will have to go back and fix this form. Let's do that right now before I forget about it. So we're focusing on this form. It currently says my logon. So I think we're going to change that. That's going to be called the caption. So we will come down here to the caption for this form. And this is going to now say, let's see, it should say my application dash logon. Okay, now it says my application dash logon. Fix that. And is that what we did in set path? Was that it? Oh, it was my application without a space. Okay. Now I guess I better make it consistent. So it needs to be my application without a space. We go down here to back to the caption and get rid of the space. All right. Now we're set. Now that's consistent. Okay. And we have it for set path. And what do we have for this form here? It's just my application. That should be my application without a space. So let's fix that. Okay. That takes care of that. Go back to the code. Now we have our new unit, and I was calling all these source code units. I start them all with unit, and then when I did set path, I just put a lowercase u in the front. So I guess I probably should go back and clean all these up, but I'm kind of lazy, and I would like to get to doing our form. So let's get to doing our form. We're on Unit 1. This is going to be users add. So let's change the name of this unit to users add. Okay. We're not going to complete the logic for this form today because there's a lot to do. There's quite a bit to this. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get the form designed and maybe flesh out some stuff, and that's probably as far as we're going to get. And we're also going to have to start looking at how we're going to prevent hacking into the file and getting access by hacking it. So we'll do something there. Okay, let's look at our blank form, and I'll just grab the corner here and pull it out a little bit. So what would there be in when we're adding a user? We're probably going to have to come back and change this to make it more utilitarian for a real application. But essentially, you want the user's name. So we take a label and we plunk it on the form. And we already know that we're going to want to right justify it, that we don't want auto sizing on, and we're going to pick a caption for it, and this is going to be user name. And if I spelled name right, that would be a good thing. All right, username. Let's come up here and drag this box out. And we know that the layout is wrong from previous work we've done. We want that centered. Okay. And then we're going to drop an edit box next to it. Okay. And then we use the trick where we size them both the same height. The edit box, we better change that first because auto size is currently true. We want to shut that off. Okay, and then we highlight both of them by dragging the cursor and creating a little rectangle over both objects. And then we lay our cursor on one of the objects and we right click and we get a little pop down menu and we find the word size and we click that. And then in the height group box, we go to grow to largest right here, and we click OK. And now both of these are the same size, and this is centered and right justified. Okay. Usually I put a colon and a space at the end of the caption. And that's what I'm going to do here. Colon, space, and then hit enter. And what that does is it spaces it to the left a little bit and gives you a little space here at the end of the box. All right. And now these two aren't aligned. I need to drag that just a little bit. Maybe I'll push it a little closer. And now I can drag this edit box out. Give us room to put a user's name in. All right. And now we want to change the name of this. We're going to say edit user name, and there will be no caption. I mean, there will be no text in it. So let's come down to the name property right here, and we're going to put in EDT for edit, and then we're just going to put in user name, right? Hit enter. And now we don't want any text in this box when it's initially shown, so we come down to the text property right here, and we just delete that. And when I hit enter, it disappears from our box. And looking at the size of these characters, I'm pretty sure you can fit a full username in here. And the thing of this is for this edit box that we're currently looking at, if you come down into properties and you look at the maximum length property, it's set at 0. Now 0 doesn't mean you can't enter anything. It means that the length of the string that you can put in there is huge. It's probably like 64,000 characters or something. So what we should do is we should set a limit. And you do that by entering a non-zero number. And let's set the limit at 24 characters. I think that should be enough for a first and last name, maybe a middle initial, I don't know. So currently that is set at 24 characters. All right, the next thing we're going to have is a user ID. All right. So we're just going to take this, since we set all the properties for this box the way we like it, we'll just copy it. So I'll right click on it and we will say copy, and then I'll select the form by clicking on it, and then we will paste. So I will right click, and down here it says paste, and here's another box. It looks just like that one. We're going to change the caption in it. It's going to be user ID. So we'll come back here and we will get rid of the word name and we will just put ID in. Hit enter. And now we need to change the name of the box. So if you look down here at name, it just calls it label 2. And we want to make this LBL user ID. And I think we did not change the name of the username box, did we? No, it's called label 1. So let's change that to LBL user name. You can see down here in the, if you look in the source behind this window, it's changing those names as I correct them. So, and our edit box says okay, and so we're just gonna did we make, yes, this edit box has some specific properties that we've set. So we will do a copy, and then we'll do a paste, and we will move that box right down here. And this is, now you'll notice for the name, it used the edit user name from the box we copied. It just put the number, the numeral 1 at the end of it to differentiate it. Well, it's not a username, so we will change the name right away. That's going to be end backspace user ID. Edit user ID. Okay. And it is currently has a max length of 24. We'll leave it at that. Okay, and now we're going to copy. I wonder if we can do multiple. Let's try highlighting multiple. And we will say copy. And then we will say paste. Oh, look at that, saves some time, doesn't it? And now we're going to have a user password. So we'll just pick this box. We will change the caption for it. It's going to be password now. And password for the caption. And we'll change the name to password. Enter. And we've got our edit box here. And that still says user ID in it. And we're going to change that to password. Okay. And as you'll recall, when we're typing in a password, we don't want to show it on the screen. So what we're going to do here, we're going to tell it, I forgot what we called that. Let's see, echo mode. It's called echo mode. This property right here, echo mode. Let's look at what's in the list. And remember, it's we pick password, EM password. So now when anything is typed in here, it will echo as just dots, graphical filled in circles, little dots. You won't see it. Well, now if you're typing a password in and you mistype it, how are you going to know? Well, you have to confirm it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take all this and we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it and we're going to move it down under here, and now we're going to say confirm password. So for the caption will be confirm. Okay, and this label is called confirm password now. So this is going to say confirm password, and that's now right. And so this is going to be edit, confirm password. All right. And I think that's pretty much everything that'll need to be typed in. All right, so we've typed this all in. Now we would need to save it to a file. So we're going to put a button at the bottom here, approximately, something like that, I guess. About right? Yeah. Okay, and this is going to be, we could either say save or add. And since this is a user add, we should probably put the caption for the button and say add. And I'll just capitalize the whole thing here. Add. And the name of this button is BTN user add. Okay. All right. Very good. Now, is that everything we need? Okay, what are the possibilities? We could type in an ID and password that already exist. That could be a problem. It really shouldn't, I don't think it should care what the username is. Although if you had multiple entries with the exact same username, that would be a problem. So we're probably going to need some kind of a status panel at the bottom of this window to put out a message indicating if there's a problem. So let's do that. Let's take, this is an empty panel right here, T panel, see it? Okay, we'll click on that and we'll bring it down here, click on this window. And we want this panel to occupy the bottom of this window. So let's see, we want a line, right? Align what? With the bottom. And you see what that did. It locks the panel to the bottom of this form. And since when this form is displayed, we really don't want any text in here, we're going to delete the caption Get rid of that. Now we should name this panel. So we will call this panel P&L status. So panel P&L status is what that's called. All right. Now, how do we want that aligned in the panel? We go to alignment, which is up here in the properties for the panel. It's currently set at center, and we're going to just make that left justified. So if we output text in it, it will start at the left and proceed to the right. Okay. So like if they type the password in and then they put they confirm what it should be, and it's not matching, you'll get a thing in the status says password's not correct. This button, the add button, you could do a trick where it's not enabled until everything is the way it should be, and you could put in the logic, you could put tests to make sure the username's not blank, that the user ID is not blank, that the password is a minimum length. You could test the content of the password to see if it's got numbers and alphabetic and upper and lower case and special characters. You can do all that, and that will make sure that you have a strong password. Okay, so I guess we're at the point where we could start adding some logic to this, although I do need to focus the form, and we don't want to call this form 1. So the caption for this form will be my application dash users dash add. Okay, so that gives you the hierarchy of where we are within the application. The user's in my application, he's clicked on users, and he is adding a user. So does that make sense? I think it does. And I think this window is pretty much the way we want it. Let's just check the properties once again and make sure we've got it the way we want it. Field is left justified. Auto select is true, which means when you enter the window, it highlights the entire content. I'm not sure we want that. We'll have to look at that. I mean, that would be handy if when you entered it and you wanted to completely change it, it would just, the first character you would type would just replace the whole thing with one character. Be like deleting it. So maybe that's okay. And character case is normal, so they can do upper and lower case. And what does that give us? Yeah, normal allows upper and lower case, so that'll be fine. And it's EM password. Let's check the one below it, make sure it's EM password right away. And yes, it's EM password. Because we copied it, it carried over, so we're good there. I think we're okay, and they're all 24. The maximum length is 24 for everything, because all these edit boxes inherited from the first one that we created. And spacing, I guess the spacing is okay. We kind of have a separation here between the username and the user ID. I guess we could close that up a little bit, huh? Let's drag this down. Okay, now it looks right. All right, so I think we're done designing our form. What did we name the form? The form is called, it's called Form 1, which is not what we want. We're going to call this form, I'll use a lowercase f to indicate it's a form, and then it's going to be users add. Okay, header. Yeah, okay. And up here in the object inspector, you can see it says users add now. Okay? And the code is users add. Okay. And I think we can save everything. So let's just say save all. And users add is what it's going to call our unit, which I'll say is save it. Yes. Now you'll notice over here in the main, this is the main code for the program, my application. It's highlighting unit 1. Because that's what was initially created when we added this new form to the application. So we want to change this. This is not unit 1. This is now users add. Okay? It's important when you see it, it highlighted it, it said, hey, this needs to be changed. That's what we did. We fixed it. Okay, so we can now just save all again, and all the asterisks in front of these unit names on these tabs have gone away because everything is now saved. All right. Now we don't have any code for users add yet. And we're going to have to do that. So I think we're to the point, though, where I'm going to say we're done for today. And our next step is going to be a big one, because we're going to store these user records in a random access file, fixed length records, and we're going to have to write a unit that is generic and allows for that. It's something that we'll be able to use throughout the application. So I think that will be one of the next steps. We're going to really get into some coding next time around, because we have to add validation for this. I mean, we could do some now, but I think it's already, this has gone long enough. We've designed the form and we've added it to our application. If we want to, we can F9 and run the application. We still have to use backdoor to get in, because we don't have a user file yet. We're logged in. We go to Files. We have set path. We have users. We don't have anything hooked up to the add, change, and delete yet. If I click add, nothing happens. So the next time we're going to, well, you know what? Darn it. Let's go ahead and let's hook up this window to the form. So let's come over here to my application and let's look at the window, and let's go here and let's click add. Okay, and so now we're going to do F users add show modal. Okay. So if we're going to show it, I think we need to add it to our uses. Yes, so we have implementation, and within implementation we have units that are used by it. So this is going to have users add. Okay, so let's just go ahead and save that. And now we'll press on F9, run the application, and we will log in. Okay, log in. And now we go to Files, Users, Add. And now we get our window. Okay, so that's good enough. I can type a username in, so I could put John Smith, tab down, his user ID. We could say it's, I don't know, J. Smith, right? Put in his password. His password is my password. Tab, my password. Okay. And you click add. Of course, it's going to do nothing. But yeah, this functions the way we intended. The panel is barely invisible here. It's almost invisible because the border is very thin, so you really don't see much. Okay, well, then we close that window, and then we come back to our main application. We can go to Files and Exit, and we're back to our logon window. We close that, and we're back to Lazarus. So I think that's a good place to break it off. The next time we're going to start adding some logic to generate an MD5 digest for the user ID and password, and we're going to create a record, fixed length record layout that we're going to use to store the records, and we're going to write a unit that has all the functionality we need to add a new record, read them, update them, and a method of deleting them. So until next time, I say goodbye. And as always, if you like the content, please click the like button, and if you find it useful and you want to see more, subscribe. Have a great day.